What's going on, everybody? I'm on a road trip right now. I'm heading back from Georgia. I came down here, flew down yesterday, early afternoon, and I picked up a truck and a chipper, and I'm driving back. I already blew out a tire, and I had to take care of that. So, needless to say, it's been a little bit of a complicated day. Not a bad day, a little bit of a complicated day. But I'm back on the road, which means I persevered. Which brings me to my topic. I want to talk to you about men's mental health. You know? If you listen to the mainstream for years, you'll hear about how men's mental health is this big mystery. Men kill themselves at a rate of 4 to 1 over women. Men that are fresh out of the military are at a higher rate of suicide than any other demographic in America. We have to ask ourselves why. Why that one in particular? All right, these men, they've accomplished as much as any. They've worked hard. They're obviously not receiving the care that they need to adjust back to civilian lifestyle. And majority of them are men. All right, so you can only say these things on television so many times, like, this is such a serious issue, men's mental health, but then do nothing? Then along came Andrew Tate to do something, all right? And what did he do? Well, I remember the first video he did that I saw, and he was addressing men that were depressed. He says, I don't get depression. I don't understand it. So I won't allow it to happen to me. But if you're depressed, if you're unhappy, then get yourself a six-pack. Go work out, get yourself a six-pack, come back to me, and then tell me whether or not you are as happy or happier than you were before you got the six-pack. And the proof is in the pudding. So, if the proof is in the pudding with that, you get yourself a six-pack, you feel better, you have to ask yourself what went into getting that six-pack. I know maybe a handful of people that have had a six-pack their whole life, and the rest of us have all worked our asses off to have one, or have given up on the thought of one completely. All right? So in order to get one, it requires hard work, a good diet, sleeping on time, and repeating that process. Well, what do I take away from that? I take away that it required hard work to get your six-pack. Once you got it, you looked better and you felt happier. The happy was the result of hard work. All right, let's just switch it just a little bit. You're lethargic, you're lazy, you're not feeling great. You eat McDonald's 5 times a week. Your lunch consists of a peanut butter and fluff sandwich. Every morning you eat your Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you feel like shit all the time. Well, if you tweak that just a little bit, you're a little bit more disciplined, you feed yourself a healthy diet, do what it takes to prepare the food, you'll then have more energy, be happier, feel better about yourself. That clean energy is something that I can't even verbally explain. But when you have it, you don't want to give it up. But it takes hard work. It takes discipline. And that's why people lose it. All right, nothing good comes without hard work or maintaining it. Next, if I have a job and I work 45 hours a week, and every week I go to my bank account and I see that it's really not doing that well, I have to question myself. What am I doing with my money every week? Am I reinvesting it? Am I spending everything at the bar? Am I eating out too often? Well, when I check myself, I realize that if I am paying myself first by investing, if I'm not eating out all the time, if I am taking care of that diet, in fact, too, it's actually cheaper. I'm sleeping well, I'm not staying out late. My wallet ends up a little bit more full at the end of each week. Funny how that worked. Hard work, discipline, full wallet, happier. All right. So hard work reflects discipline and commitment, and when you have those things together, it equates to happiness. So the problem is, so many men expect that addressing their mental health issues is just, oh, I'm happy now. I went to a therapist, I told them all my problems, I'm happy. It's not that easy. See, for a man, it's different than a woman. They don't just need to talk the things off their chest. They actually have to accomplish things. It's ingrained in our DNA. All right? So, we have that ingrained in our DNA, that hard work and all these other things equate to happiness. And a lot of that has to do with sheer will. And what can you relate that to? You can relate that to masculinity. Now, when Andrew Tate came along, he had said that about the abs and the six-pack, but he also said that the journey is never easy. And for those men who give up, they don't have their masculine ways. You know, in a journey, you're gonna run into blown out tires, you're gonna, have to sleep in the back seat of the truck until things work out for you. There are a lot of different things that, can go wrong on just a trip. However, how you overcome these things is a reflection of A, how happy you're going to be, and B, exactly who you are as a man. I want to be the best man that I can be, all the time. So I understand, personally, that there's 4 things that I can do always, as long as I'm disciplined, to make sure that I stay happy. First thing is I can go to the gym every single fucking day. Work out hard. Sometimes I'm tired. Who gives a shit? Get through it. Alright? Might not get as good a pump as you did the day before, but you're there. You're getting the work in. You're putting it in the right way. The next thing is sleep. If I get my ass home every single night and I go to bed, I'll wake up happier and with better energy. My diet. I can spend the extra money, spend the extra time, make sure that I eat healthy. And if I have the extra money and I have the ability to do those things, I can eat out and eat healthy. But there's no need to dominate 5 bags of fucking McDonald's every week. Let's make that perfectly clear. And the 4th thing that you can do is you can take care of your personal hygiene. I know that I'm a little dirty right now. I've been working on tires and doing all those things, but I always feel better about myself when I'm looking clean, when I shave every day, I brush my teeth like 15 times a day, wash my face with all the shit that, you should use if you're a man, maybe like your face routine or whatever the fuck it is. You will feel better. We used to have the saying in the car business, I was in the car business for a short period of time, if you run into a slump, go get a haircut. It'll change the way that you feel, change the way that you look. Other people will expect different energy out of you just because you look clean. So, acknowledging those things is something that real men do. But I want to take a step back real quick, right? When somebody actually did step forward, that being Andrew Tate, saying those things about what you needed to do to make yourself feel happier, healthier, feel better about yourself, feel stronger, they locked him up. And I couldn't tell you why. He faced some of the most brutal lawfare I've heard of yet. I mean, he was thrown in a Romanian jail with his brother, who refused to go without him, to let him go alone. Lock me up if you're bringing my brother. No, that's a brother's keeper. Kind of brings a tear to my eye. But, they've ran him through it 3-4 times. They've debanked him. The guy can't do anything. He makes a lot of fucking money. They debank him. They take But as a man, he's not going to take those roadblocks or those obstacles and, just give up because he sees one in front of him. He's continued to address these same things. But by locking him up, after saying for generations, I mean, I've been hearing this since 1990. Men's mental health, it's a crisis. Men off themselves at a 4-to-1 rate. Men that are coming back from the military are having a hard time adjusting, and they're dealing with mental health issues. It's this big mystery. It's not a fucking mystery. If you take back your masculinity, you take back your household. If you take back your household, the media isn't going to control your house. That simple. Something I'm passionate about. Because I believe in the patriarchy. Alright? I believe that we each have a role. We're not the same. Just like I wouldn't expect you to carry up all the fucking heavy ass shit out of the basement. You shouldn't expect me to be there to nurture and breastfeed a child. We have our own responsibilities. And while you're breastfeeding, I have to go out and work and sweat and do some fucking crazy shit to earn your money and put my life at risk. But these are the roles that we understand. Alright? And a lot of them are talked out of us. We understand that we have to go out and provide, but we're talked out of these things. Why are we talked out of these things? Oh, they made it so easy to leave. All right? I think there's some sort of law that was actually out in Texas that talked about how child support is always issued to the lesser of the two people, because they want to make sure that they receive their money. Because believe it or not, according to this video that I saw, child support and DOR paid for the judicial system out in Texas. What? Alright, so the people that are making the decisions on whether or not I pay or she pays are the same ones that are going to be paid by that child support in particular, with the interest, the collections of payments, stuff like that. That's insane. So they incentivized the people that rule on these things to rule in favor of getting paid more money. Alright, so if they can divide enough families and they can convince enough women that they don't need these men, you can be an independent woman, we'll make sure that you get a little bit of this change every month. But then that's also what takes away our will to be a good hard worker and stuff like that. If we're paying 33% of our check, why do we want to go out and earn $1,000 after, taxes? We're going to take home $400. You see how this works? This is an important subject to me. And the reason is I like to point out the hypocrisy that's within our government. Because these are the same people that are telling us it's such a fucking mystery. But there's not one program designed to take back men's mental health, to stop these problems. See, I'm here on this ride right now, and I have a lot of time to think. That's why I'm making a video for you, of course, but I have a lot of time to think. And if what I was thinking about was something sad, something depressive, this would be the time that it would come forward, and I'd be dwelling on things, and that's not manly. Alright? That's what causes men's mental health issues. And we have to start understanding that and start addressing these things, because our men are too valuable, and it's the reason why this country's falling to shit. We don't have real men anymore. We have people that follow this occultic system and want to try to grab all the will that you can't right out of every man. That being said, it's not fair, and there is a solution. And you have to ask yourself, are you going to continue to deny people like Andrew Tate, who have done everything that they can to motivate us not to be such miserable pukes? People like Jordan Peterson, who give us a better understanding of what's going on. You know, when they attacked these people with lawfare, it told me everything that I needed to hear. It told me that these men were right, and that I had to better myself. And I had to keep doing that. And that nobody else was going to do it for me. So, peace and happiness. I love y'all. Just remember, if you are going through a hard time, get yourself a six-pack, fix your diet, make sure you're clean, wake up on time, go to bed on time, and make sure you work your fucking balls off at work. Get yourself some money and pay yourself first. Fuck your bills. Catch y'all later.